Hey everyone, welcome back once again. Thank you for joining me today. And in today's video, I want to focus big time. My main focus is going to be in this book that I read, and it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is one of the all-time great books that was written by Robert Kiyosaki. He is famously known for that. He's also famously known for being a heavy investor in gold and silver. And also now he's a big time investor in cryptocurrency. Not to say that he owns a lot of assets of real estate, and he is just one of the biggest influencers in financial literacy in today's world. So with that being said, let me get right into it and let's follow along as I navigate through you on what I got, some of the takeaways that I got from this book. Let's dive into it.
I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad because I'm serving a mission to serve my fellow human being. Because the school system will never teach you about money. They teach people to be poor.
Okay, awesome. So this book, it focuses on a story. And the story is about two dads. One of them, it's a rich dad, and then the other one, it's a poor dad. And so Robert, when he was little, he gets taken into an adventure of learning money. The rich dad had a way of teaching him how to earn the money and then go and invest it. And his poor dad had a really scarcity mindset of just, once you get the money, we're going to go and spend it. And basically, it created a lot of liabilities. So the story goes, one dad is going to die. Right after he dies, he's going to leave nothing to his family except nothing but liabilities. And the other one, being the rich dad, he's going to die and he's going to leave a legacy. This is what the main focus of the story is all about. So the poor dad, that is, he will always focus on, I cannot afford that. I can't pay for that. I can't afford it. And the mindset of rich dad was, how can I afford that? How can I pay for that? So you see right there, the question that you ask yourself, how can I afford that, right? So what Rich Dad did was triggering the mindset in order to look at things very differently rather than I just cannot afford it. And that is literally one of the things that we have going on today, especially in today's society, is just, we live in a mass environment, in a mass culture where if you see somebody being successful, you say, well, lucky to be you. If only I was you. Not to think about that person had a lot of struggles that he or she had to go through. And so, there's a lot of things that, that we can go back and forth, but it really just comes down to the mindset, to the belief of what you are out to do. And so poor dad was always focusing on, I cannot afford that. Rich dad was, how can I afford that? And so this is essentially a self-fulfilling prophecy that you do for yourself. If you say, I'm always going to be broke, that's never going to be me. I'm just a poor person who is not going to do it. It's not going to make anything in life. I cannot afford that. That is what you're doing. You're self-fulfilling yourself a prophecy. When instead, you're saying, I'm going to be the richest person that ever lived. I'm going to leave a legacy to my family that no other person has ever left for them. So it is how the saying goes, you become who you say you're going to become. You become who you surround yourself with. At the end of the day, it's the mindset and it's the self-fulfilling prophecy that you're giving out to yourself. And so poor dad was always working for money. Rich dad was always working for the knowledge. And so this is the lesson that Robert was taught early on as he was a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, I believe. I cannot remember the whole story of how old he was, but Rich Dad was always having them work for just a couple of cents. But it was the knowledge. They didn't see the purpose of why Rich Dad was having them work for just a couple cents. But all along, little did they know, they were working for really the knowledge. Once I get the money, how can I invest it? Because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can keep. And after you keep that money, what can I do with the money so that it can replicate itself? Now that I have the money, how can I make this money work for me? So that is what Robert likes to focus on the book. The poor work for somebody else and they work for a salary. The rich, they don't do that. Once they get the money, they buy assets and they minimize their liabilities. So it really comes down to the assets and then the liabilities, right? Because an asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. And so that is what we have now today in today's society, because the school system teaches you go to school, get a job, and become a good employee. In financial literacy, you may not get paid at the beginning. You may not get paid a lot of money at the beginning. You're going to struggle, but it's the financial literacy of what I can do with the money once I get it. How can I invest this money? And so that's why entrepreneurs, self-made millionaires and billionaires is what they do. Once you read the biography, they all correlate to the same thing. At one point, they had a job, and then another point, they made a decision in saying, I'm going to go and start my own business. And I'm going to go and make that business replicate the money so that I no longer have to be there. Once the business keeps on spinning the wheels, the business will take care of itself. So that is what the cash flow quadrant talks about. And I'll get into it in a little bit. I'm going to talk about the cash flow quadrant, the 4 ways that Robert Kiyosaki explains on how to make money. But again, the cash flow, this is how cash flow looks there's 3 different types of categories that Robert Kiyosaki talks about in the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that is the poor, they get a job. They get a salary, and then they spend it all in expenses. So you get a job, you get a salary, and you spend all of your money in expenses. That is what the poor people do. The middle class, they get a job, they get a salary, but most of their money is tied up on liabilities. That is a credit card, that is a car, that is a mortgage. A mortgage, yes, that is also a liability, because a lot of individuals in the middle class, they look at a house being an asset. But if you don't have any other assets other than your house, it's just really your liability. Because if something is happened to you, then you're leaving that liability about for your entire family if you were to pass away. It is a liability. And so that is what the cash flow looks for the middle class. Now, the cash flow for a entrepreneur, it's the money is working for them. They no longer have to work for money. You see, at the beginning, at some point, yes, they did. And that's why at the beginning said it's really not about how much money you make, but it's about how much money you can keep. Because what you do with that money dictates how you're going to live your life later on down the line. So the rich, they get the salary based on the return, based on the assets that they get. And some of the assets look like this. They could be stocks, they could be bonds. It could be a business that takes care of itself, that you no longer have to be present for you to be in that business, right? The business is running with you or without you being there. It doesn't matter what you're doing, the business is running the business. And also real estate. You can have an apartment building that creates cash flow, that can create income. So the liability, yes, you do have a liability because you have to pay the loan back, but you are not required to pay the loan if you have a job. You basically are tied up to you going into work and then making that money in order for you to make your payment. So that is a liability. But in this case, the apartment building is taking care of itself because the tenants are the ones paying for it. So those are some of the ways that the rich invest on their assets. And again, some of the income could be royalties. It could be dividends from stocks. It could be rental income. It could be interest, because at this point, you have money, and then so you lend the money, you get the money back. You're getting paid the money back, but also you're getting it paid in a form of interest. This is one of the big differences. The rich understand how they can focus on their money. So the poor cannot understand that. So once again, the poor cannot understand that. You see, for a rich person, the column looks like this. There's assets and liabilities. The assets are huge, right? The line just keeps going. The liabilities are minimal. So this is for someone that is rich. They understand the game of money, how financial literacy works. In the other hand, when you reverse it, a poor person is liabilities goes down the line and assets is just down here. Because you see, they don't understand what the difference is between a liability and an asset. You get paid, you go out and spend it, you go out and get a credit card, you spend the money before you earn it, right? A lot of individuals, they have credit cards, so before they even get paid while they're having a job, they're already sliding the credit card and then going out and getting into more debt. So that therefore the debt just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Why? Because that's what the masses do. That is what everybody else does. So in order for you to understand, the message of this book is to really not do what the masses do. Go, if you see the herd heading this way, head out the other way, because things are going to be different, right? So that is what the column looks like, the assets and the liabilities. And so there are 4 ways of making money. So you see, you have the employee, right? The employee, they have a job, right? You get paid according to the amount of hours that you work, the amount of time. If you have time off, you don't get paid. So basically, if you're not present, you don't get paid. You work for somebody else. You're a W-4. I go apply for a job. I go work at McDonald's. I work at Amazon, whatever that is, right? I have a job. If I'm not physically there, I don't get paid. That is one of the ways to make money. Employee, you have a job. The second one is self-employed, right? I don't work for anybody else. I work for myself. I have my own job. So you work according to your values, right? You have no leverage. You basically are working for money. But guess what happens? If you're not there, if you're not physically present there, you're not going to get paid. There's no way that you're going to get paid if you're not there. The third way to make money is you are a business owner. So you have a system. You have something put in place that runs itself. You can be there. The system is taking care of itself. Now you have employees working for you. You own the business, right? You have the system in place that everybody follows along in order for your business to prosper, to make money, in order for it to perhaps maybe get a second other business, right? So that will be the third one. The last one, it's an investor. An investor, you own investments. This is how you get paid. You have different types of incomes. So let's just say you own real estate. You own 3 properties, 4 properties. You own an apartment building. You have leverage. Now you have the money working for you. Everything that you earn during your working years, you were smart. You figured it out, right? You understand how the financial literacy work. You did something about that. You didn't follow the masses. So this is how the investors get richer. And then when you hear the word the rich, this is how the rich get richer. These are the 4 ways that you can make money. And then again, this is going to be a second part video, because on the next video, I'm going to focus on the second half of what this book talks about, because I believe it's one of the greatest books of all time to really understand financial literacy, because that is one of the main things, that is one of the key ingredients that is missing in our society today, right? You see, schools are teaching you to get a job, to go get a loan, and then go to college, and then get another loan, and then you get out with $100,000, $200,000 worth of debt. They don't teach you financial literacy. So this book really focuses on that, and it just gives you an eye-opening. It just gives you a breakthrough, and it was able to give it to me. But just wanted to share that with you. I'm gonna make a second part of it, so please feel free to check it out. It'll be ready next week. But in the meantime, hope this video you can find some value on it. Please don't forget to follow us on social media. We're always putting valuable content. And if you know anybody that can benefit from understanding this financial literacy, please feel free to share the video. And like I said, follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of that good stuff. And until the next one, we will see you guys very soon, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.